So Jane brought up Mars in her introduction. And, you know, you got out of PayPal and Zip2, with a lot of money. And I'm sure people in this room have had this happen to them, and many people will have it happen sometime in the future, I hope. And instead of buying mutual funds or, I don't know, doing what everyone does with several $100 million, you decided to...
Mortgage-backed securities, I hear they're great.
You decided to start a rocket company with the express purpose of, well, making it cheaper to get stuff in outer space and then eventually going to Mars, or helping humanity go to Mars. And I just wanted to know, why? Why do that?
It isn't obvious? Well, when I was in college, there were sort of three areas that I thought of what's really going to affect the future of humanity in a significant way. And the three things that seemed to be most significant to me were the internet, the transition to a sustainable energy economy, and the third was the extension of life beyond Earth, becoming multiplanetary. I didn't think I'd be involved at all in option three, but the reason I think it's important is it goes to how we decide that anything is important. And the lens of history is a good way to distinguish what seems important in the moment from what is truly important over the long term. And if you zoom out and look at a long enough period of time, and say the 4 billion year history of Earth, and the evolution of life itself, then there's only about half a dozen or so major milestones in the history of life. There's obviously single-celled life, multicellular life, differentiation to plants and animals, the transition from oceans to land, mammals, consciousness, and then also on that scale would fit life becoming multiplanetary. It would be, I think, at least as important as life going from the oceans to land, and probably more important or more significant, because at least that was a gradual transition. If things got a little uncomfortable on land, you could just hop back in the ocean, and that's not really feasible on interplanetary journeys. So, here we are. It's sort of the first time in the 4 billion year history of Earth that life has been able to go beyond Earth, and that window may be open for a long time. And I'm optimistic that I hope it will, and I'm actually fairly optimistic about the future of Earth. But something may happen that closes that window and prevents life from extending beyond Earth, and that risks the extension of life, or at least consciousness as we know it, and that would be a terrible thing.
Yeah.
Life is a terrible thing to waste.